most CIOs live in a world where they're managing large complex programs. They get to see lots of business processes in action. They also end up being quite good operators because you have to be responsive and reactive to what your organization needs from a technology perspective. And I think those skills are all quite good in preparing you to be a COO and take on broader operating responsibilities. The other thing I'd say, most of the CIOs that I know and I meet are actually really good people in terms of having great business acumen, and therefore they're able to translate that when they come to do another role or a broader role. I measure success as perception of the people that consume the services. I think it doesn't mean I don't have dashboards, and we've got lots of dashboards and they show, green, amber, red and all that kind of thing around projects and the stability of our core systems, but ultimately it comes down to people's perception, and it doesn't matter what my charts say. If people feel something is good or bad, I want to know about that, and I want to be able to respond accordingly. And people are not shy in our firm at coming forward with their point of view. Very, very demanding group of people who are trying to serve clients and support those people serving clients, and therefore I've got to get to a point where I can take on board their feedback and act on it quite quickly, which means I have to have a good team beneath me that can pick these things up. And we operate globally, so it is a full-on 24/7 business. There'll be a deal closing tonight somewhere, somebody will have a problem. If it gets escalated, well, I need to be able to respond, and my team are great at that. One of the things that I'm testing at the moment is whether we're suffering from a little bit of change fatigue. When I came into the role as the CIO, there were a number of things that I wanted to try and address, things that I wanted to fix. And our firm tends to run quite hot, so our lawyers are busy people. And therefore you only have a limited amount of change capacity that they can absorb and kind of adopt on an ongoing basis. And you have to be careful that you don't push too much at them too quickly, or things will get implemented but then not used, or you get the frustration of there's a new tool and no one has seen it before or heard of it. So creating the right path with milestone deliverables on it, signposting those to people, and then offering them a whole range of training, from drop-in clinics to floor walkers to desk drops to video. That's the way I've tried to address it, and the firm have been quite receptive, and I think we are at the cutting edge in some of the technologies that we're deploying. We are currently implementing a solution which massively enhances the search capabilities that people have in our firm. So where people would be working on a particular matter, so the type of work we do, we call them matters, they would want to know information that would help them come to the right conclusions and form the right decisions to help our clients. That might mean they need to know about other people in the firm, other work we've worked on, the type of information that's available in the market. They might also need to know information about pricing, similar deals we've done before. And historically, in order to get that information, you'd have to dip into lots of different systems. So we run a single global system for our enterprise management. But we haven't ever had an enterprise search that works in a way where you can tap into this. So you can now run a query which is saying, show me where we've done banking agreements in China where we had people who speak Spanish. And so we can pull up information that we couldn't previously pull up. And people in the firm really like that kind of thing because it makes their life faster. So I joined the firm around 3 years ago. And at the point that I joined, there's all this hype in the industry. AI is going to take over lawyer jobs, and we're going to be able to industrialize everything, and everything's going to become kind of routine and automated. And I haven't seen the impact of it in that way. Although what I would say about the tools is that the tools, we use some AI tools right now, they are progressing every year, they're getting a little bit better, and they can do a little bit more. So we can do things with AI tools now where we can extract certain clauses from contracts. So if you get a stack of 10,000 contracts and you want to know what the governing law is in all of those contracts, you can run a computer program to tell you, where previously you would have employed a person to turn the pages on 10,000 contracts. So that technology is now available. So it is making for a different work experience for people, but it's not, it isn't the sort of eliminate jobs type thing that I think people have been hyping up for a while. And we will continue to invest in AI tools, and we will see how our firm evolves as we adopt them. We're quite keen to do as much as we can in that space. GDPR is interesting from a couple of angles. So on a sort of positive side, we are able to offer advice to our clients around GDPR, and we're actively engaged in a number of those assignments right now. On an internal side, and how we're getting our own house in order, I've talked before about how we have to take great care of what data we've got and who can see the data. So that's always been front and center of what we do. On top of that, we're often audited by our clients and regulators and other people. So we've had to have kind of a clean bill of health when it comes to where is data and information. However, we have been running a GDPR work stream for the last couple of years, and there are changes we've had to make. You know, little things like destroying disks. We used to send things off-site to be destroyed. They now have to be destroyed on-site to comply with GDPR. And there are some processes that we had that needed to be written down rather than just known and understood by certain teams. Things like that we've had to do. We've had an active work stream to hopefully make sure that we're compliant with all the legislation as it arrives. AI is changing the way that people work in some ways in our organisation. We're also seeing more and more collaboration technologies. So the way that we are engaging with our clients is changing. I think there is it's slow, but there is an increased use of kind of video and online collaboration sessions. We have a number of clients who wish to communicate with us over things like WhatsApp, WeChat, depending on where they are in the world. And that presents some challenges for us as a technology function, because we need to make sure we keep records of all the things that we're doing. So that there are technologies like that are quite interesting. The one thing that's not been invented yet that I'm excited for is something around security. When I was just doing the CIO role, I was probably spending 1 to 2 days a week on security related issues in one way or another. And we kind of haven't yet had any massive advances in information security for quite some time. And I think we're overdue some, and we're due something that knows and understands who I am or who an individual is, and what they're allowed to see and when they're allowed to see it and how they authenticate. We kind of live in this world of the technology team building all sorts of complex systems around passwords and access, and we've got tools on our firewalls and all these gateways to stop information going here, there and everywhere. We've got clients saying they want us to implement data leakage prevention tools. All these things happen, and it strikes me that we as a group of bright tech people should be able to solve these problems and make it easier for people. That's the thing I'm really looking forward to.